Accuracy and me don't get along. Believe me. The bananas. It's not a potassium thing. I'm just a big fan. Hey, if my source said to me they're going to Czechoslovakia this week, how am I to blame? I'm passing the information.
And joined now, as we are on Fridays, by one half of the team, Donnie and Dolly. Weekdays, Czech television, 10 to noon. It's Canucks Insider, Mr. Rick Dhaliwal. How you doing, Ricky?
Couldn't be better. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Yeah, holding our own.
Thanks for the invite to golf yesterday.
You know, Jeff and I were mentioning this because we saw your tweet, and we didn't appreciate it.
It was noted.
I don't know how many times you have to say, I can't golf on weekdays. We're not going to invite you on weekdays. It's just that simple. Like when we have weekend tee times, you're invited to play.
Is in Patterson's backyard. It's a hop, skip, and jump away. You guys all live in North Van. I'm out by the U.S. border. How the hell am I going to? It's like a 15-hour day if I golf there. Like I can't do that.
Well, you missed a good time. McCletchy said all day long, where is Dhaliwal?
Yeah, McCletch is great. I love that guy. I just love that. And seeing Patterson in the sand was nice. He's such a good golfer. No, it's good to see you screw up once in a while, Jeff.
Because you would have seen a lot of it yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday was the day you might have beat him, Rick.
Yeah, it's frustrating golfing with Patterson. He's so good. It just pisses you off. It was nice to see him in the sand.
All right, buddy. Francesco Aquilini and the Canucks are $50,000 lighter in the wallet after a fine for violating the league's off-season organized activities policy earlier this spring. And now we find out that the league and the PA have gotten together, looked at this, and said, you know what, let's have a summer trial where we allow some of this. Was the Canucks fine a catalyst for this rule change? And how come they're not reimbursing Frankie his $50K?
Yeah,
after
no kidding.
Allowing this going forward.
This happened, announced last night by Elliot Friedman, and 100%. This is because of the Canucks fine in April for $50,000. They held those on ice sessions. I think there were 6 or 7 guys there. The Sedin twins were on the ice. You're not allowed to have hockey ops on the ice. Anyways, the players, I was told last night, players went to the NHLPA and said, look, can you allow at least one on-ice skills guy to help us out in the summer? And I like it. It's a good idea, and I'll tell you why. Hockey is 12 months of the year now for these guys. Remember back in the old days in the 80s, players, smoke and drank, and they used training camp to get in shape. You can't do that anymore. The hard part is not getting to the NHL. It's staying in the NHL. And to do that, you have to eat right, sleep right, diet right, continue to improve every single day, because you know what? There's a whack of kids coming up behind ready to steal your job. Careers are short. To lengthen those careers, players must get better in the offseason, and they realize that. I told you guys last week that Andrei Kuzmenko was going to start this week, his workouts in preparation at the earliest he's ever started, and there he was. Boxing. He had a boxing video out, and I was bang on. Kuzmenko has started. Think about it, though. Boxing builds muscle, great for an endurance, keeps weight off, improves balance, coordination, great for hockey players. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something, and I keep saying it. Look, the message was sent by Rick Tocchet in the exit meetings. Go home, but don't, you better be better. In physicality, you better show up to camp shape. I don't want to be that guy that shows up to camp not in shape, because it's not going to be good. And I was also told by my source yesterday, Vasily Podkolzin and Arshdeep Bains working out yesterday with a kid named Connor Bedard in the same group at 8 rinks. So good on all these guys. The message got through from Rick Tocchet. You know what? Get going, come in shape, and I think this is going to be one of the most conditioned Canucks hockey teams in a long time.
Rick, we're working our way to the draft later this month, and then beyond that to free agency. The Canucks still have some business to take care of, and it seems every week that you're on here, we're talking about Ethan Bear, who, now a gold medalist, came back from the Worlds. I saw he was dropping the ceremonial puck at the Memorial Cup on Indigenous Day in Kamloops, and we know that he was injured, couldn't play the semifinal or the final at the World Hockey Championship. To the eye, no discernible injury when he was out there at center ice at the Memorial Cup dropping the puck. So, again, I'm not a doctor, but I can play one on a podcast perhaps. Whatever it was ailing him doesn't look like it's going to be the kind of thing that's going to set him back here in the offseason. What do we know ultimately about the injury, first of all, before we even talk contract?
Yeah. Okay. So I look. Somebody speculated it's the wrist. It's not the wrist. It's a little bit higher up, and he's getting checked out. I think this weekend by Canuck doctors. And you're right though. If you're dropping the puck at a game in Kamloops at the Memorial Cup, the Canucks aren't going to allow him to travel down there if it's real serious. He looked good in the interview. I saw the interview. He didn't grimace or anything. It's upper body. He's getting checked out this weekend by Canuck doctors, and let's hope it's not like OEL last year. He went to the Worlds, screwed up his ankle. It really affected his play all season, and that's why these players get insured, Jeff. That's why the insurance is there to protect these guys, especially guys, Jeff, that don't have contracts for next year. Here we are in June. No new Ethan Bear contract. RFA with arb rights. This is a player that Jim Rutherford put in his letter to season ticket holders. When I checked in midweek, I was told it's quiet concerning contract talks with Bear, but it is believed that the two sides are not very far apart because of the Canucks cap issues. I believe in my heart, and most don't believe the Canucks can give Bear term if their cap issues continue. That could be holding up term deals for Bear, Niles Hoglander, and Akito Hirose. So a one-year deal could be where it ends up for Bear, and that would walk him to UFA status in 12 months. I heard you guys talking, I think it was Blake, Matt, and Patrick Johnson about Bear getting $3 million. Guys, the only way Bear gets $3 million is if the Canucks buy out UFA years. If it's a one-year deal, the number will start with a 2. So the only way you get into 3, I heard you guys speculating, but come on. You don't get 3 unless you're buying UFA years. But what I've been told right now is the Canucks have to clear cap space to get their own guys done. And if they want to be active on July 1st, they're working the phones. And everything is possible. I mean, just don't discount anything. They gotta clear cap space, not only for July 1st, but for their own guys as well, guys. Still very quiet. Matty, you asked for Kyle Burrows, nothing. Noah Juleson, nothing. Colin Delia, nothing. They like him, but no decision's been made. Yeah. All 3 of those guys, very quiet with those 3 guys. But I'm telling you right now, it's they got to clear cap space. If they want to sign their own guys to term, and if they want to get active on July 1st, they have to clear cap space.
Yeah, so there's a possibility they come to a arrangement on a contract with Bear. There's also the qualifying offer at the end of at the end of June. If I have this right, they would need to qualify him at around $2.5 million, Ricky.
Yeah.
Like, do you think they would do that? Do you think if they can't come to an agreement beforehand?
But hold it a second, Matt. No team wants. We talk about this all the time. No team wants a guy to go into UFA status. If you can get a 2 or 3 year deal done with Bear, you do it. They spent 6 months trying to get the guy. He's in the Jim Rutherford season ticket holder meeting. I don't get all this hatred for Bear. Don't bring him back. Don't qualify him. He's on the right side. He's given you depth on the right side. They worked hard to get him out of Carolina. In a perfect world, they probably do a 2 to 3 year deal. But if worse gets to worse and they don't have the cap space, then you do a 1 year deal.
Right. And in some scenarios, you'd look at it and say, oh, you can give him term and maybe it takes a little less to help out your cap situation. But you're quite right. In his case, if you're buying out UFA years, then he's going to want more. So a bit of a tricky negotiation. And I'm with you, Ricky. Like, I don't understand the Ethan Bear hate either. I thought he was decent last year, and I would absolutely bring him back given that he's a mobile right side defenseman.
If anything, he improves your right side, gives you depth there. And, I mean, when injuries come, I mean, let's be honest, guys. Yeah. He played some decent minutes down the stretch. But if injuries come, he can move up the whole 9 yards. They do like him. There is no hatred there from management. I don't have any indication that they don't want him back. They just got cap issues, and they got to figure it out.
Yep. Enjoyed your chat with Milan Lucic, fresh off his World Championship as well the other day, Rick. And he kind of was coy when asked about July 1st and Vancouver. I mean, is there any sense on your part that there is a marriage to be made between Milan Lucic and the Vancouver Canucks?
Well, I will say this. We got a ton of reaction from the Lucic interview. If he hits free agent market, he's still property of the Flames. Let me say this. He's going to turn 35, I think, on Monday, guys. Over 1,100 games in the NHL. He won't be the most expensive signing. He won't be expensive at all. He provides an element for teams that the Canucks require. A guy that'll stick up. And nobody's going to touch Pettersson or Hughes if they know that Milan Lucic is on your team. There will be interest around the league in Milan Lucic. Don't discount that. Now, I want to say this, Jeff, and you covered junior hockey like I did for many years. The Lucic story is amazing to me. I get tired of people saying he can't skate. Well, he did pretty damn good for a guy that can't skate to play 1,100 frickin' games in the NHL. He didn't go in the Bantam draft. Cut numerous times in the Western Hockey League and the BC Hockey League. He was playing for the Delta Ice Hawks junior B team on a Tuesday night. Vancouver Giants GM Scott Bonner goes down there to see another kid. I think the kid's name was David Rutherford out of White Rock. In that game, Lucic gets in 2 fights. The very next morning, Scott Bonner lists Lucic with the Vancouver Giants, and the rest is history. I just can't tell you enough about what this kid, he has heard he can't skate his entire life. You can't skate. Well, he's got a Stanley Cup ring, 1,100 games in the NHL. He's got a Memorial Cup championship, gold medal at the World Hockey Day. That's pretty damn good for a guy that can't skate. You know what? I think people should show a little bit more respect. He's a local guy. And you know what? I know he's 34, 35. He's not at the fleetest of foot, but he's had a wonderful career. And you know what? You know all those guys that went in the Bantam draft that he didn't? He passed about I would say to you, he passed 99% of them. He's a great story. Never gave up. I really like the Milan Lucic story. And I do want to say this to you. Lucic has not talked to his agents, Scott Bonner and Jerry Johansson, about July 1st. He will soon. The Flames still own his rights. He did tell us if the Canucks call, he will listen. We also have a guy in Vancouver whose name is Rick Dhaliwal. He's a coach, one of the best power forwards in the world, in the NHL history. He's a guy that likes those type of players. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I haven't figured out yet if the Canucks would have interest. But if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Absolutely see the fit given the coach and some of his desires. Of course, the fit.
And it's not going to cost you.
Yeah, I understand, Rick. But if they're talking about, wow, Akito Hiroshi, we need to figure some things out cap-wise before we sign him. Yeah. The same applies for Lucic and NHL veterans on the free agent market. We'll see what the next month brings. Let me ask you the poll question we asked yesterday, Rick. Do you think they're going to make a big trade this month? Like, do you think they have to make a big trade this month?
When you hold it a second, let me throw something else at you. When you make a big trade, say it's a Wednesday, you didn't start talks on Tuesday. You plant the seeds many weeks ahead, especially for the big ones. And you don't think they're working the phones right now? If you don't think they're working the phones right now, you're out to lunch. It is very, very. They have told agents, let us clear some cap space before we sign your guys or stuff like that. So yeah, damn right. They know they have to shake it up here a bit, and they have some contracts they got to get out from under, and you don't do that in 24 hours. You plant seeds many weeks ahead, guys.
Lastly, I'll just say this because Jeff Patterson makes a weekly appearance on your show. There's a quid pro quo here. It's
the biggest part of our week. It's not Drance, Patterson. Drance he's not the sharpest tool in the shed to begin with. It's Patterson. Patterson is the biggest part of our week.
When he comes on your show, does he spend the first 2 minutes yelling, complaining, talking about how he isn't invited on the golf course, insulting one of the hosts, cursing? Yep. No, he doesn't do that on your show?
No, he doesn't. Hey, listen, I want to get this story.
He's a good guest, right?
He's a good guest. He's a good guy. Listen, I had a little brush with a famous guy this week. So Save On Foods. I just got out of that. I was in. The lady was bagging my groceries, and I look at my immediate right. It's John Cooper, the head coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
The lawyer from Prince George.
Prince George. I think his mom and dad are retired in White Rock. Anyways, So I tell the lady, I said, hey, get going. And I said, get going. That's John Cooper. I want to go talk to him. I want to take a picture, and I want to get him on for Donnie and Dolly. The lady takes forever. I had sunflower seeds, and when you get them on a bulk, Henderson knows this, but you got to tag them and put a number on them. She took forever to weigh the sunflower seeds and all that stuff. I was really pissed off. I never got a shot at John Cooper. And 2 hours later, someone saw him in a liquor store in White Rock, took a picture of him, and I could have had that picture. But anyways, I saw John Cooper at my Save on Foods. It was really good.
No, I know he comes home here to be seen.
We'll have to take your word on this since you don't have photographic evidence.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Although I did see Carson Price listener Nancy, and shout out Ocean Park
That's
Nancy.
Nancy Park Green. She
right.
took a picture. Yeah.
She's been a great long-time listener here on our show. So
Yeah,
shout
our
out to
show
Nancy.
too, Harris, so shut up. Anyways, listen, Nancy, great Ocean Park Nancy. She's a big fan of our show, too. She tweets at us all the time. And you guys. She likes you guys, too. But listen, she saw John Cooper.
No. She's our listener who likes you guys, too.
No, she likes us first, then you guys. She's already told us that. Anyways, listen.
Oh, really? Okay.
Apparently John Cooper likes her.
Yes.
I'm not sure he likes you.
I told the lady, I said, will you get going bag the freaking groceries so I can
Too
go
many
see,
sunflower. The damn sunflower seeds, man. The bag was too big.
It's the bulk stuff. That's what takes these people time.
I know.
Bulk stuff. They got to weigh all that crap.
I just hope the ladies are quicker bagging your groceries next time, Ricky. We'll get out of here. Wish you a bad.
Bag the groceries. There's John Cooper. Anyways, I missed him. He was a good guy. Hey.
That's a wrap. It's in the bag. Again, one more show, one more segment with Rick Dhaliwal.
Adios.
Thank you, sir.